Hey guys, this is Erica the Goober, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at some of my old Animal Crossing art. So this video is mainly focused on Animal Crossing artwork I've made over the years because I have a lot of it. This is kind of a follow-up to my how to improve your art video. We'll be using the critique method I explained in that video on some of these pieces, so if you haven't watched it yet, you should check that out first. So we're gonna start with this drawing. So this was from 2008. I remember at this time I was really like trying out a kind of different style. I remember I saw somebody else's like drawing on DeviantArt and they drew a face like this, so I decided I'm gonna draw faces like that too. So I did like the little like cat mouth kind of thing, but this was like my character from Wild World and the outfit I would always wear. I'm not gonna go like super in depth with a critique on this one, but I will say that I think as far as like her legs, I was kind of starting to understand perspective. So you can see like a cylinder here, and I had the stripes going around her legs in like the correct perspective. I will say that her hair is a little troubling. So this looks like, I don't know, like tree bark maybe, but I think I was using the dodge and burn tools. So I wasn't really thinking about color, and I wasn't thinking about really like the direction the hair was coming from. I mean, kind of, but I think what I was doing was more to add some kind of texture to it, and it doesn't really like read as hair. So with this one, I think there's a similar story where I think I saw like expressions like these, and I wanted to try that out on my Animal Crossing characters. I think the colors are looking okay. I can see that I tried to do like the water effect from Animal Crossing back here where it's got like the little circles, and yeah, I guess it kind of tells a story. I'm saying like, oh my gosh, it's Tangy, like she's here. I guess she just moved in or something. But I can see that I did not understand shading, and I took the dodge and burn tool and I did it all in here, and most problematically like in the sky, because it's like you don't have shading in the sky like that. It doesn't make any sense. I think I probably discovered this tool and I went a little bit crazy with using it in here. So that, and also like structurally this house is going to fall apart. Okay, now we have my three favorite villagers, Peanut, Filbert, and Tangy. These were my favorites like back in the day, but I still love them. I just wanted to do some different expressions with these. So I had like really simplified their bodies and then try to like give them different like facial expressions. But I was also using the burn and dodge tools a lot here. This is our first one from 2009. So I think I was just starting high school, but here I tried to do like almost a draw this in your style kind of thing, where I did like Animal Crossing style in the background, and then I like this was kind of like my style at the time. So just trying to like experiment with different styles and stuff, and drawing things different ways was something I was really focused on at this time. So I do applaud myself for trying different things rather than just like trying to look at other people's styles and draw my characters in their style kind of thing. So this one is one of my DeviantArt IDs. If you guys remember, you could make a specific upload type where it was like DeviantArt ID, and I would always do like the URL, like my name used to be Peanut Filbert because of the Animal Crossing characters, and this was my Walkie from Neopets that I would use as kind of like my avatar. Her name was Peanut Filbert as well. So I tried to draw Peanut Filbert in an Animal Crossing style for my ID. I remember being super happy with this after I finished it. I was really proud of this umbrella because umbrellas are a struggle, you know. So this used to be my favorite Animal Crossing drawing that I did. I worked really hard on this one, and I try to like put all of my villagers in the same picture. This is like a little beach day scene, and this is me and my ex-boyfriend. But I really like how there's like different character interactions throughout here, like kind of paired off, except for Joey. He's kind of like down here with the fish by himself, but he's still happy. One of the things that I remember being super proud of when I did this was like Tangy sitting on the ground right here. Something happened and I suddenly understood perspective, pretty much only in this part of the drawing. But there's some other areas where the perspective is very wonky. There's a lot of areas like Portia right here. To me, it looks like she's laying the other way. So it's like the perspective lines, like thinking about like, you know, they're like this, but they should be like this because she's moving away in space. But yeah, I remember really liking this one, and it was a lot of fun to create. So with this one, there's a kind of a funny story. I remember posting this on DeviantArt, and in the little description it said, I plan on drawing all the Animal Crossing villagers. Was I crazy? There's like, I don't know exactly how many, but there was surely over 200 then. So it was kind of ridiculous that I thought I could make it through all of them. So if you've seen my how to improve your art video, you might recognize a portion of this one. This is another piece that I was very proud of at the time, and I remember working really hard on it. So it was a very ambitious piece, especially since I didn't understand how to draw faces in profile, but I went for the challenge anyway. So it was a good learning experience, but I do think that I went a little bit overboard with the special Photoshop brushes. So this grass kind of brush. And then of course, I don't know if this was a brush or like an effect on Photoshop, but I did this like kind of cheesy looking light beams from the sun. So here's another one that I was very proud of at the time. I was thinking about like, you know, what do your characters do when you're not playing? Like, I'm gonna draw her in her room sleeping. So I think I did a good job looking at the light source and trying to understand lighting a little bit more. So you can see that the sun is coming through the window and then it's hitting these surfaces, and then I have like shadow in here. So I started trying to play around with that more and trying to think about things a little bit more than I was doing before. But one thing that I could have looked at a little bit more is the perspective here. It's like the horizon line is way too high up. But yeah, I mean, at least I was trying to do some different things, even if I didn't have like all the skill set that I needed. So here's another one of my villager with Tangy, who is watering flowers. So this is for Earth Day, and I remember like just realizing it was Earth Day, and I was like, oh, I really need to draw something Animal Crossing related for Earth Day. So I did this one like really quickly, and I think that like her pose isn't actually that bad. I know like her head is too big and there's some issues with that, but as far as like me trying to do some different poses other than just, you know, standing, I pushed myself to do something different. So this one is from 2013, and I took a break from drawing Animal Crossing stuff for a while. I was doing Animal Crossing sketches maybe, but I was having like computer trouble at the time, so I didn't do a lot of digital art then. But these were for my villagers from New Leaf 2013. New Leaf came out, and that's pretty much all I did was play New Leaf. So I do like how I started being more expressive with my posing. Like, I really like Bud and Pinky's poses because you can see like a clear line of action with these. So they're more expressive than Alice and Derwin's posing. I also started to do my shadows with, I think that is like probably an overlay of like a really bright color. I think it added kind of an interesting effect, but I think later on in some of the other pieces that I'm going to show you, I did that a little bit too intensely. So this one is a little drawing I did of Chatter the mouse. This one in particular, I realized that you see how it's really pixely because this is only 72 DPI and it's a very small size. So I worked really hard to like make it super clean and everything, and then I realized that it was too small of a canvas size. Whenever you drop a photo into Photoshop and you are planning on coloring over your sketch, you need to make sure that you change your DPI to probably like 300 before you start drawing. So this one is a drawing I did of all of my favorite Animal Crossing villagers that I wanted in my town, so they were my dreamies. And I actually still really like this one. I like how all the characters are kind of interacting with each other in some way. They have like different expressions that kind of like show their personality. Like I especially like how Felicity turned out, and Eric, of course, he's like one of my favorites. And then Isabelle. Like I love how her pose is kind of like stretched this way, and she's like running after like little Animal Crossing me, like with a bunch of papers, like, wait, you need to do some mayor stuff. Yeah, I still really like this one, but even though I really like it, it doesn't mean that there is not room for improvement. I know I really struggled with some of the hand poses, like Pinky's hands right here. They're kind of like awkwardly grabbing these balloons, and I think I could have thought about a better pose for her. And then one more thing was the way Sky was grabbing Chief's arm to try to like, you know, pull him that way and say like, come on, let's go. It's kind of like backwards. So again, if I would have thought about the pose a little bit more, I think I could have had a more natural looking one. Here is the last one from 2014. So this was also one of my favorites for a long time. This is my mayor character and Isabelle in the fall sitting under the town tree, and I did put a whole lot of work into this one. I tried to like painting in a different style. So rather than just drawing the lines, doing the color underneath, doing shading, and then being done with it, I started to paint on top of the lines, which that's how I paint now. So this was a very important piece in my development as an artist. One thing I think this painting could use is a little bit more structure. So the drawing itself I think could be better. I like how Isabelle looks for the most part, but like with my character, I feel like I kind of like lose the understanding here of the anatomy. So I guess like she needs more like structure. So now we have to fast forward to 2016 because once again I took a break from doing a lot of personal digital art and was mostly focused on school and doing just sketches. So this one is actually a sketch that I colored, and I was continuing working where I would like paint on top of my sketch lines a little bit, and you can see my shapes and my lines are getting more confident here. I'm also starting to try different shading where it matches the colors that are already on the canvas more, rather than using blending modes too heavily. So these were recreations of one of the earliest Animal Crossing drawings I showed you guys at the beginning. So I did these like sketches and then I colored them on the computer, and just like looking at the other one and then comparing it to this one, I can see like how much I've grown as far as like using different shapes and like poses. Like I can see with this peanut one, like I can see the attitude in this pose. Like she's like tilting her head down and she's got like this nice line of action here. This one was actually a GIF that I made, but I couldn't pull up the GIF in Photoshop, so we're just gonna like look at the single image. But here I was trying to play around with texture more. I think just me playing around with different brushes, like the texture looks really nice actually. And I tried not to use like extremely saturated colors, just to try to like make everything look a little more cohesive. So I think I started like understanding color a lot better at this point. So once again, I had a little bit of an Animal Crossing break, and this was 2017 when Pocket Camp was announced. So I did like a little DJ KK slider. I definitely see that I was starting to see color better and play with these like purple and orange tones back here. And then I have like some purples in the shadows, like on his fur. So these next few drawings are all from 2020. I can definitely see, like looking back at my previous Animal Crossing work, that I have improved in like posing and trying to find dimensionality in these characters. Here is one of my sticker designs for my Patreon print and sticker club. Looking at this drawing, I can tell that I have come a long way with painting and being able to, you know, do cleanup work and paint on top of my lines. I think it's really important to try out different painting styles until you find one that works for you. This is a very recent one that I am really happy with how it turned out. I feel like the way that I captured the mistiness of the air really helped bring the illustration together. Looking back at these other Animal Crossing illustrations I've done, I can definitely see that I've improved with using color. But yeah, those are basically all my digital Animal Crossing drawings starting from 2008. Looking back at these old Animal Crossing drawings has really helped me see the areas I've improved in over the years. I can even point out specific things in those drawings that I discovered and that I still do today. I think going back and looking at your old art is really important to do from time to time, especially if you are feeling stuck and like you're not improving. Try going back and doing a self-critique, kind of like we did in this video. Make sure you identify your strengths and point out things that you think you did well. Then point out some things that you would like to improve on and try to find out some ways to practice those. For me, one of the most enjoyable parts about art is being able to look back at your old work and seeing how far you've come. I'd like to say thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. I have a few shout outs to do for new and upgrading supporters. These include Carrie Golightly, Teenage Unmutated Art Account, Summer Under the Sea, Draws for Paws, Alyssa Illustration, Kittens and Captures, Beach Life Studio, King Woo Suk, Were Puppy, Toon Journal, Agatha Draws, and Lova Draws. Thank you guys so much for supporting my art and my YouTube channel. These Patreon supporters received an extended cut of this video with over 4 minutes of additional footage and more old artwork that I critique. If you'd like to see your name in the credits and support the channel, click on the Patreon link below. I also want to thank you guys for 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. That is absolutely insane. When I started my channel, I never imagined it would grow to this size. I was afraid to talk in front of the camera and I was very shy. So doing YouTube has definitely helped me open up a little bit and be more comfortable talking to people. I know this video was a little different than what I normally do, but if you'd like to see another video like this one, I have some Legend of Zelda art as well as some Sly Cooper art that I've made over the years. If you'd be interested in seeing a video about one of those, let me know in the comments which one you want to see next. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye!